Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever episode of the WCG Podcast. My name is Brendan Scott, this is Matt White, the second best cricketer at the WCG. On today's episode we're going to take you back to where it all began. We're going to have a look at how it all started. We're going to run through some of the better moments of the last 5 years at the WCG. Jeez, hard to imagine it's been 5 years, isn't it?
Well, there has been a few good moments too in 5 years, plenty of beers drunk.
Yeah, oh yeah. How'd you pull up from last night?
A bit seedy at the moment, so
yeah,
it doesn't matter.
Yeah, I've been struggling all morning. We'll also preview a massive Season 6 coming up, and we'll take some fan questions that you guys have sent in via Instagram. Alright, so without further ado, mate, how did the WCG all begin?
Well, we used to play at a mate's house, Carwin Rogers, and he got kicked out of his house, so therefore we couldn't play at his house anymore. We only used to play on Boxing Day.
Yeah.
But then we had a game on Australia Day, was it?
Australia Day. Yeah, we used to play every Australia Day, didn't we?
That was our first game, and then it's just grown into what it is today. So
Carwin's like the unofficial godfather of the WCG.
Well, that's correct.
So if he didn't get kicked out, I think that's the story anyway, but we'll stick with it. If he didn't get kicked out, then the WCG might not have ever started.
That's very possible.
So
very
thanks,
possible.
Carwin, for being an absolute lunatic. You're a good man. If you're watching this, I hope you're well. Yeah, I mean, do you remember much about our first match, the Boxing Day match?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, the pitch was absolutely disgraceful. The backyard was terrible.
Jeez,
we had an umpire named John Longbow that couldn't even see the end of where the batsman was, so he was too blind. And there was some pretty bad decisions going on. So, but in all, it was a great day, and then we decided to play every month, and
yeah. I think I remember we won that match from memory.
Yeah, I think you did actually. Yeah.
It's a kind of a common theme over the years, guys. But our fans that have been there since day dot will know that. Yeah, that's a regular occurrence.
Well, that'll come to an end quite soon. Trust me.
Dude, that backyard has come a long way, hasn't it? I mean, it looked like you can just remember the pitch. If my editing skills are any good, I'll put up a photo now of the early days. That was, geez, it's the pitch to try and make runs on that was an effort, wasn't it?
It was a fair effort, and it was pretty bad, Nick. I'll give it that. Put it this way, it was a spinner's paradise. And a batsman's nightmare.
Oh, they went at right angles. But I think from memory, I think we both teams made 50 each in the first innings, and then you guys made about 80. And then we snuck home with George Paneras hitting the winning runs. There's been a bit of a theme over the years at the WCG, George Paneras getting us home, but
that won't happen this year. Trust me.
All right. Apart from that first match, what do you reckon some of the better moments have been at the WCG? We are all lunatics. For those of you who don't know that, I can remember the first Australia Day T20 Big Bash. Remember Mendo running into the auto wiki and the tent pole falling on his head. I mean, for those who have watched that video, you have to go all the way back to watch that video, season 1. But that was a heavy, heavy tent pole that fell on his head, and I'm surprised that he pulled through, to be honest. What are some of your probably favourite memories of the last 5 years?
Well, probably the best one was when the Kiwis came, I must say. That was really something special. Had to have a team from overseas come over and play us. I'd say that was the best moment I've experienced there personally. But and then there's been a lot of other highlights. The way the ground has looked, the way the game has gone over the years. It's improved. Both standards have improved quite good, and so. Yeah,
I mean, as we were talking about the first ever game, to think that 5 years later we've had an international team come over and play us. I mean,
it's amazing.
Honestly. It's crazy, and that's off the back of all you fans that have backed us from the get go. We'd be nothing without you guys and all your comments and well wishes and all the views and sharing stuff. So we owe it to you guys as much as you owe it to us. You don't know what I said.
Thanks, guys.
What other moments? I'd say, making hundreds left, right, and centre just, it's just become boring lately. You know what I mean?
Well, it's not going to happen this year. At the end of the day, I'm the only one.
3 centuries.
I'm the only one to beat you. So, Rabi or Basher, well, thank God he's gone. Like, I'm pretty sure the pundits out there are really happy about that. Because I know a few of his ex-players are.
Well, yeah. I mean, one of his most unwiser decisions was to say that you were surplus to requirements when he took over. So that's why it's been such a demolition over the last 2 years.
Have a look at his record. He hasn't won many games there.
He will this year, don't worry. He's back home, mate. He's back home where he belongs.
Yeah, right.
We love you, Rabs. All right, so that can take us into probably season 6. It's going to be a massive season. Obviously, with COVID and everything going on, hopefully the borders will open up to allow the Poms and the Kiwis to get here. For those of you who've been following us for a while, will know that we've got the Backyard Ashes scheduled for February next year, and we've also got a tri-series with the Kiwis and the Pommies a week later. So hopefully that all comes to fruition. But first, we'll preview the Test series coming up between Brennan's 11 and Matt's 11. How do you see this one playing out, mate?
Well,
back as skipper.
Well, it's going to be very interesting. Back to the 2 best players, obviously, against each other now, which is going to make it quite interesting. Our team, well...
His words, not mine.
Our team is very good, trust me. We have a good all-round... everything's covered on all bases, so I'm quite happy with it.
Who do you see being one of your standout players? You can't choose yourself. Who do you see to be one of your standout players this series?
Well, in the bowling department, I reckon at least 2 would be. I reckon Daniel Arnold is going to have a really good season. I've taught him a few good tricks.
Coco's a good arm wrestler, but he bowls pies. He bowls absolute pies.
And young Nathan Hancock, I expect big things from him this year.
Yeah, I think Nathan, with the swing ball, he's become really handy.
He has, and he's very, very hard to play. He's very accurate. He just keeps on at you, keeps going, and he's got you.
Yeah, and they're a year older now, the boys. What are they?
18 now.
18 now,
just nearly 18, 17, 18 now.
Mate, they were wee pups when we were...
12-year-old they started?
Yeah. Jesus Christ, where does the time
go?
Look, I'm excited to see how Harry goes for you, to be honest. Harry Dean. We saw him in the Australia Day T20 Big Bash. He dominated that tournament. Absolutely dominated in Nice Gary's second title win. So this will be his first Test series at the WCG. So the pressure's on. The eyeballs are on him. He's a class act, isn't he? So I think, particularly with the bat, I think he's going to be a big player for you.
Yeah, I'm happy to have him in the team. He's going to be obviously batting higher up the order, so which will add a lot of strength to our top order. And yes, the way he did play in the T20 was quite impressive.
Oh yeah. I think obviously Schaefer's going to be a big player for you.
Yeah, definitely with both bat and ball. So yeah, looking forward to what he can do.
Yeah. Coco. I mean, Daniel Arnold's going to do nothing. You'll do nothing, mate.
You'll see.
You bowl pies, son. Right? You're a great arm wrestler, but he'll be serving up rubbish.
Just remember this, Coco.
One player for you who's always had the talent, but never come to fruition is probably Michael Johnson. He's averaging 5 with the bat, or less than 5.
He's
probably
had 5 cans
so do all of us. You know what I mean? Actually, he's probably coming off a 5-day bender rather than 5 cans. But that's sometimes where he plays some of his best cricket, isn't it?
Very true, very true.
But look, it's going to be an interesting battle. I mean, also another player a player for us is Henry Perinara, the NRL referee who played in last year's Australia Day T20 Big Bash. He's in my side for the Test series, and I'm very excited that he was someone else who had another good debut tournament at the T20. So I'm excited to see how he goes. Who have you identified anyone in our side apart from the great man who might be a threat to you, or who you keeping an eye on?
Yeah, we've got a few plans for basically everybody.
Would you like to tell us some of those plans?
No, definitely not. But there's going to be some standouts. Obviously, Brandon.
Just a run machine.
Ravi can bat sometimes.
It's an unorthodox. Ivan Mendel has an unorthodox. His first serve is good. His first serve is good,
Can
but
be handy with the bat.
Yeah.
So look, George and Gavin too can obviously chip in with runs, but also they can get out for ducks too.
Yeah. I'm happy with our middle order. We've got my old bat at the top again, and then we've got players like Henry, Juzzo, George, and Gav. George and Gav have always come through for me when I've needed them the most. I expect them to do it the same again. I think it's going to be a great battle, isn't it?
I think it'd be interesting to see how Juzzo goes too. So.
Yeah, well, he's another player who since he made his debut in that one-day match for Rabi's 11, he's done four balls.
He's gone backwards.
Yeah, and with the ball, he's fantastic, and he's good in the field. With the bat, though, if he can stand up for me with the bat,
he can.
Then
bat.
he's going to be handy.
Yeah, 100%. He can bat, but it depends on how many cans he has before.
Yeah. I think that you can say that for a lot of the blokes, can't you? I mean, look, what's the betting agency say? I reckon probably $1.50 for Brennan's 11, being the 3-time champs, looking for a fourth crown. And probably, I'd say the tab's probably got you at $3.50 outsiders.
$3.50. Wow. Okay. You know what? I'm going to put some money on that. Yeah, definitely.
I think
that'd be a good payday.
I think the Integrity Commission might be having a look at that. But
well, it's not match fixing. You're betting on yourself.
That's fair enough. All right. So, what is your prediction for the series?
The series? I reckon definitely us 2-1.
2-1.
Yeah, at least. I reckon maybe possibly 3-0, but I'll say 2-1.
Look,
your batting depth is not big. And our bowling is very sharp.
I think that your bowling, you've got some talent with the ball, but I think you underestimate my middle order.
Yeah.
And
possibly.
if I can get some runs again, I think that we'll be there or thereabouts. But yeah, definitely Brennan's 11's toughest task of the last probably few years.
Definitely.
I'd say, I mean, look, 3-0 Brennan's 11 in a canter.
As Gav says, you're going to be facing a lot of pepper.
Yeah, a lot of pepper, but it comes twice as fast off the bat, mate.
Yeah, no, you got to see
Flies
it first,
to the
mate.
boundary.
You got to see it first, mate.
Fair enough. Brennan's 11 3-0. You heard it here first.
Yeah.
Another,
Don't bet on it,
I'll give you. White has been producing some fantastic pitches at the WCG. Very good to bat on. Comes onto the bat. It'll be another belter come first test. And
I'm definitely very impressed with how it's going at the moment. It's probably the best I've ever seen at the finals.
And I think you can probably just pen in another B Scott 100, I reckon, or at least a 50.
There'll be definitely both teams should be scoring over 100 in their first innings.
Oh yeah. Well, now we've increased the teams from 8 to 10. And it's significant quality that has been added as well.
Jake Kasache, he's coming in. He's quite talented with the bat, ball, and great in the field.
Jeez, he's a slogger though, isn't he? He'll score his runs quick.
He's like an Adam Gilchrist.
Well, I think both teams, don't we? We've got that mix of some good level-headed players and some blokes that are just going to go and
that's right.
swing the willow at it.
They're not going to wait around. What's going on? They're just going to
Yeah, as you said, they're going to be a few cans deep as well, so they'll be need to get on with it.
Second inning should be interesting.
Yeah, all right. So I've gone Brennan's 11 3-0. He's gone Matt's 11 2-1. But look, it's going to be a fantastic series. And tune in for the first Test match, which is on October 18, which is about 2 weeks away now.
13 days away.
It's creeping up.
I'm actually on the Bathurst race day, unfortunately, but that's the way it has to be.
Don't worry, mate. We'll be racing. Don't worry about that.
We'll be racing to victory. I'll be watching plenty of it because the game will be over by lunchtime.
Yeah, exactly. You're right. Good call. Right. Brennan's level 1 now.
Yeah.
Notoriously, the team that wins the first Test match of the series goes on to win the series every time. So that first Test match is pivotal. It's pivotal. But we're back to a 3-test series. We didn't have time to do a 3-test series last year with the Kiwis over and a few things happening. So. It should be an epic contest. All right, we'll look ahead to the Australia Day T20 Big Bash. It's a tournament that you and I have both won.
Correct.
How's that? Has won it twice. You've won it with Wet Up once, and Nice Gary, who are the defending champions, have won it twice. We're going to have it's going to be the same setup, same teams, isn't it?
So basically, yeah.
So we pretty much
few changes to the girls this year. It should be pretty good. So
young Brooke Smith is going to make her debut. She's going to slot into the WCG Babes this year. Very keen to see how she goes. She's quite an accomplished sportsman.
Yes,
so let's see how she goes at the beautiful game of cricket. But I think we're going to have the same teams as last year, same setup, same format. I'm looking forward to it. Who do you think is going to win the tournament? I mean, I know it's a long way away now.
It's a hard decision to make because so many things happen in the day, and it's only 3 players. Anything can happen. A bit of luck.
I think that I'll say for your side, you guys had us first match, so that was a blockbuster first match, and then because you lost that one, you had to finish second in the group, which means you ran into Nice Gary.
Yeah.
And obviously, anyone that remembers that match remembers that Harry Dean had a day out in particular with that one, took a specky off you.
Yeah. Right.
And then I think he got bowled out for like 14 or whatever, and he chased it down himself.
That's right.
Which was the theme of the day, to be honest. But
young fella.
Yeah, look, it'd be interesting to see if they can keep Harry, George, and who was it, Bowling. They would probably be a strong side. But yeah, if you guys have a bit of luck with the draw, then I see you guys being strong again. Yourself, Gav, and Johnson. Johnson will turn up after a bender as per usual, which sometimes actually works, doesn't it?
Oh, it does, especially on Australia Day.
Oh yeah. I'll never forget when he walked in on his work. He's like, "Shh, don't tell White I haven't slept." Hey Whitey, Johnson's here. He hasn't slept.
Doing his work here.
He tried to. That's right. He tried to fake that he was working that morning.
That's right.
Yeah, nice
then
try.
He asked me, "Can he play in his work boots?" I said, "No, mate."
Nice try, Johnson. Look, I think we've a bit of news. We've How's that have signed Daniel Arnold for the upcoming season. We'd like to thank Todd Lavin for his service to the great outfit that is How's that.
Todd's been sacked, but yet again,
Look,
Brandon signed Daniel Arnold, but 2 minutes ago he's bagging the shit out of him. Going,
well, of course. When he's not playing for my side, he's rubbish.
Yeah, that's right.
When he's playing for my side,
he must be all right.
No. He's not a good test player. He's a good short form player. That was what I was getting at.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, love you, Coco.
Yeah.
Look, it's probably is it our favourite tournament? The Australia Day T20 Big Bash?
Yeah, we put the pool in the corner. It's more of a chilled out day. The pressure's off. Whatever happens. So.
Yeah, I think, look, a lot of people say that the pressure's off, but when we're playing, when it gets down to, the back end of the tournament, it's game on. We're all naturally competitive, if you haven't noticed.
But it's good to watch too.
It's a day where we have everyone there, isn't it?
That's correct.
So everyone of all kind of cricketing abilities kind of gets a go, rather than the rather than the Test matches, where it's a pretty select few.
Well, that's right. Yeah, it's very competitive, the Test, but
it's a more broader competition.
That's right, and it gives people the time, give the opportunity to come support us and watch us and bring food and do this.
Yeah.
To actually get out there and have a go.
Yeah, it's fantastic. And it's always a good day.
The fans love it, so it's good. You know what I mean? I'm very happy with it.
The competition I've won twice as well, so that's why I'm very, very happy with it. But no, how's that looking for its third title this year?
Yeah,
if you're honest, get in the queue, mate. Daniel Arnold in the side, mate.
Daniel Arnold's good now. Yeah.
Fantastic player. All right. After that, now, so once that's all said and done, and if everything goes back to normal, we have probably our biggest ever series at the WCG. The boys from, I think it's not Essex, is it? It's Sussex?
Sussex,
I think it's Sussex. If I get it wrong, they're going to slate me for it. But they got in contact with us after the New Zealand series and said, mate, we're coming over to players. One thing led to another, and they've booked their flights. Now, obviously, as it stands, international travel is not happening into Australia at the moment. Hopefully, by February next year, everything is back to normal, but we'll wait and see. But this is going to be... If this goes ahead, this is going to be...
Well, it's going to be epic, trust me. I like to have the first backyard Ashes, basically, in the world. People are going to know what's going on, and it's going to be very good.
Bloody Jardine.
Yeah. And, well, there's another little interesting thing, actually. Me and Brendan have a little bet. Whoever wins the series...
that's right, yeah, that's
is the captain of Australia against the Poms.
That's right, yeah. Whoever wins the Test series will captain the side against the Poms. In that series, so that's an extra bit of spice to the Test series, our domestic Test series. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm going to look forward to captaining that side again. But
full of confidence.
I'm always full of confidence, mate.
No, you're not there, so don't be too cocky.
Yeah, look, credit to the boys who've, it's the same to the Kiwi boys. People will say, oh, look, WCG, look what they're making happen. But at the end of the day, the Kiwis and the Poms are the ones that have to fly over.
Well, they
make
spent
it happen.
a lot of money to come over.
Exactly. So hats off to them for making it all happen. And yeah, if the Pommy boys, which I'm sure they are, half the blokes at the Kiwis were going to be in for a good time.
Definitely, yeah. And the Kiwis were fantastic people. It was a pleasure to have them at my house, and we got to see a haka at the end too, which was very special.
I mean,
so
yeah, they were champions.
I like that.
So, what's your prediction for the Ashes series? Should it go ahead?
Yes, definitely.
From what I've seen, them train and whatnot, and the videos that they've put on the Instagram and whatnot, I think they've got a bit of work to do.
I think
they've got a bit of work to do, and I don't know if they've ever dealt. I think only a couple of them have dealt with the Aussie sun before.
Yes, so that's going to be a big problem for them. Coming from February in England, which is going to only be less, to be 4 or 5 degrees at best.
Yeah,
coming to a nearly 40-degree days.
You're coming to the cauldron, ladies and gentlemen.
And it's
so
going to be hot.
I think as the Kiwis found out on that first day in the Test match, that we just were all over them like a rash.
That's right.
It was hot. We were more suited to that style of the series.
That's right.
But the Poms reckon that they are probably more suited to the Test style because they've got a bit of patience and whatnot. They play a bit of outdoor cricket. But look, yeah, it's one thing to say that in rainy old England. When you get off that plane, I think it's going to be. I think you're in for a bit of a rude awakening.
And when you start drinking the good old Aussie beer, it's going to be hitting you straight away.
Yeah, none of that Foster's rubbish that they claim is Aussie. That's
it. No.
Get
you down the pub the night before, boys. Get you absolutely smashed. Should be good. Hopefully it's 40 degrees the next day, and
yeah, I can't wait. I just hope it all everything opens back up and we can do it, man.
It was good signs. New Zealand, New Zealand is allowed to come to New South Wales now.
Yeah.
So it's
that's
in the right direction.
Yeah, well, exactly. That's a start. Look, hopefully, if something we can talk about later, but if the Pommy series doesn't happen, look, we've got a contingency plan of October next year for the Ashes, and then we'd probably have to postpone the Tri series as well. But having said that, the Kiwis could probably still come over. So
well, that's right.
They can fill the void. We can have a
possibly do that.
Trans-Tasman series times 2. They'll be looking for retribution after we wipe the floor with them.
So there should be an international some stage.
Yeah, look, it looks more likely that the Kiwis are going to be able to come over at this stage. But having said that, there's a lot of water to go under the bridge between now and February. So
that's correct.
Fingers crossed. That also takes us on to the Tri series that we've kind of talked about a bit. A week after, the Kiwis are going to come here as scheduled, and ourselves, the Pommies and the Kiwis are going to play a limited overs Tri series. That is also new ground for backyard cricket as a whole. I'm looking majorly forward to that because that is kind of like a precursor for a future World Cup, isn't
definitely. This is what we're sort of planning, and this is the test run really. We need to get a new field set up. Figure out how we're going to replicate a backyard.
It's expansion time at the WCG, ladies and gentlemen.
We've got some big lights that we were allowed to use, so we could possibly be playing in night time also. So good things to come.
Yeah, just hopefully the borders open back up and then it's game on, ladies and gentlemen. All right, guys, we're going to end today's podcast by taking some fan questions that you guys have sent in via Instagram. So we'll get this show on the road. First question is from Alex Stepien, one of our own. He's asked, how good is the Wild Thing? Now, he has been nicknamed the Wild Thing for his slinging action, which is similar to Sean Tate's bowling action. How good is the Wild Thing? Are you excited to have him on your side?
Oh, definitely. And you're going to find out how good the Wild Thing is in 13 days' time.
Mate, when he was playing for you the first time, he was bowling a leg spin.
Yeah,
I turned him into mate, he's my Frankenstein, mate. I turned him into that monster.
I refined him, made him a better bowler again. So what he's been doing up the nets in the last couple of weeks is unbelievable.
He's been at the nets, has he?
And trust me, you're going to find it very difficult.
He's been saying that I'm scared, but we haven't even had a training run yet. He's had about 5.
It's just getting the muscles ready, mate.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Ready to strike, mate.
To answer the question, how good is the wild thing? Last year, fantastic. This year, muff cabbage.
He'll be brilliant.
Rubbish.
He'll be brilliant.
Bowl and pies.
Wild thing.
No, look, I'm interested to see how he goes, to be honest. I haven't faced him. I haven't even faced him in Australia Day Big Bash or anything like that. I haven't faced him since his bowl and leg spin.
Look,
So
he's very difficult because of his height. He comes down, he slams it into the pitch and gets.
He's got long levers. Doesn't he? Just
and his pace is quite quick. So I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes.
Yeah, twice as quick off the bat, I think. The next question has been sent in by Owen Lewis 2712, and he asked, "What is the time schedule for a test match at the WCG?"
We're looking roughly around about 6 hours.
Yeah, I think we usually used to start about with 8 players. We'd start at midday, and I'd say probably close to 5 hours. But it depends. Like some test matches vary.
With 10 players, we're starting at 10:30 this year. Is that correct?
I think so.
Yeah, and should be done by about 5. I'd say.
Yeah, we got 10 players each side now. Probably the most quality we've had. I'd say you're probably looking at 5 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
So we don't really have too many breaks during the day. It's we've only got 5 players on the field at a time. So if anyone wants a rest, they go off. Obviously, only one batsman batting at a time. So look, everyone's kind of able to have their rest and do all that stuff. So that's pretty much we just run straight through for about 5 or 6 hours. I'd say that
basically. Yeah.
Anad Singh 05 asks, how much money do you guys make from your YouTube videos? Well, if I can answer that by saying, look at this gold watch, baby. You can't see, but I've actually got grills down there. Look, not much, mate.
Not enough because I've still got to go to work each day.
Yeah, so exactly.
Unfortunately, but hopefully things can change in the future.
Things are growing, mate. We're making waves, mate.
That's right.
Look, I'll give you a number. It's between $0 and $1 million. So you can make of that what you will. Young Oscar Sterrett has asked, why did you start doing YouTube? Now, I think it was probably more of an accident. We just put the videos.
Why was
we just put the videos on YouTube as an archive for us to watch it, then all of a sudden people started, and you that's when you first get the concept of numbers and
who's watching?
10,000 people watched the video. Wow, that's crazy. Wow. And you can make money from this. So originally it was just an accident. It was not an accident. Put them on there just for an archive for us to watch them at the pub and have a laugh.
It was, because that's what we used to do. Actually, we used to stream our games at the pub when everyone's there and watch it. Yeah,
until that was brought to an abrupt end
by
management. Yeah, so that's how we started doing YouTube. Put them on there for an archive for us to have a laugh at, and then we've grown. We've grown from there. Nathan P sends in his question: what's the best beer for backyard cricket? Hard to go past the Green Grenade, isn't it?
Yeah, VB cans go down pretty well. We tend to use cans because sometimes the wind can get up, smash bottles, people step on it, stuff like that. We've had a little episode like that before, so it's all canned beer basically, just for that reason. But VB.
A few players get angry, and we don't want bottles thrown at players as well, and on the field and whatnot. Cans are going to do less damage in theory. It's probably hard to go past the VB.
Definitely, I think.
VB can. Yeah. Next question is from Haynes Cricket Ground. I'm not sure if they got a YouTube channel, but they definitely have an Instagram. So check those guys out on Instagram, Haynes Cricket Ground. Now, this is a question that I could direct to you, White. Talk us through the pitch preparation process.
I can't give away too many secrets, but what I'll say is good preparation is key to a good pitch. During the off season, get it seeded early. Good fertiliser, good water. We have a growth mat now, which actually works really well for getting the grass to grow a lot quicker. Good fertilisers. Got a good tip off our mate who has actually worked at St Andrews Golf Course last year.
Good old Fardy.
Old Fardy, which give you a top quality fertiliser, and it's really helped. So I'm quite impressed with that. Which is Golf Course Munns Golf Course Green, for anyone who wants to use that. It's very good.
I think
then probably water. No water before 3 to 4 days before. A couple of probably a little slight roll every afternoon. Then cut it down the day before. So that way we can bounce it back
it's a lot of preparation for those who don't see the behind the scenes stuff. We try to put as much stuff we can on our social medias to kind of give you an idea of what it takes to prepare a great wicket. Whitey spends a lot of time on it. You know, it's pretty much a daily care. You can't just neglect it. You know.
No, it's definitely something you have to constantly look after. Yeah, mowing probably twice to 3 times a week. Keep it at the constant levels, consistent levels. So you definitely don't want to be going too long.
And we expect another belter this season.
This one, honestly, this one I think will be the best one yet. It's looking absolute picturesque at the moment. Very happy with it.
All right, this next one was sent in by the goose that is Justin Brook. Now I've had to reword this one. Who is the biggest dick? Now I think it depends.
That's a big competition. Isn't it?
It depends who you ask. Some might say me because I'm pretty braggadocious about making runs and all that. I'd have to say, surely George Pineros is up there.
Yeah, Georgie would be up there.
George
has pissed a lot of people off over the years.
It depends. It depends in what context you're asking.
Didn't he give Barbie a bash with the big brown eye last year or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there was an altercation at the end of the semi-final between Nice
correct.
Gary and 2 inches short of a length, where you won't hear it in the background because we've dubbed over with the crowd noise and whatnot, but he was absolutely giving it to George Pineros, and when they were bowled out for 4. Everyone was confident that they'd lost the match, and Rabs was absolutely giving it to him. Yeah. And then when they pulled off that miraculous victory, Rabs was target number 1 as Josh went straight over to him. Rabs. It depends. Like, if Rabs is always throwing the bat, he doesn't throw the bat as much anymore, does he?
No, he doesn't actually. No.
But in the early days, he used to throw.
Daniel Hancock stopped that too. So I think he's growing up a bit. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, there's another one I'm excited to see this year. Daniel Hancock, he's coming of age as well, particularly with the blade. Look, Juzzo, you've got to be a show for that as well, mate.
Yeah, definitely, Juzzo.
You're a dick. You're a dick. Thanks for the question, mate. All right, this one coming in from Backyard Cricket England, our boys over in England. Will Brendan resign as captain when the Poms come over and beat you? 3-part answer to that. Number 1, as we've just discussed, the winner of the Test series between Matt's 11 and Brendan's 11 will captain that Ashes side, so that's still yet to be determined. The second part is you guys are got to get into the country first, so hopefully that happens. And number 3 is you are getting nowhere near us, boys. From what I'm seeing at the moment, look, I know I talked a bit of smack about the Kiwis and they gave us a run for our money, but you guys have got a long way to go, I think.
Bring some of the international players that you'll need them, trust me.
Yeah, well, England always have a South African in there and a Kiwi anyway, so exactly. It's pretty much the world 11. Hello to the boys in England.
Yeah,
we hope you are.
Can't wait to have us out here.
Hope you're keeping well, and we can get you over the border. This next one is sent in by Rully 10 or Rully 10. I think it's Rully 10. But will you bring out stats for the Australia Day T20 Big Bash? Now, what he's referring to is that we don't really in the graphics, like the batsman's graphics, I don't put the runs out. I've usually put nicknames. The answer to that is yep. We're going to do that this year. I'll go through all the footage, get a stats tally together, and then you'll know all those stats. We'll bring out more stuff about the stats for a series. Who was the leading run scorer? Who was the leading wicket taker? So we're going to be a bit more astute with that this season. So yes is the answer. And our final question is Brand 4427. Now Brand 4427 is the South African who's running the show over there.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he asks, will we be able to frisk you for sandpaper before the game?
Well, it's funny you say that, mate, because I was at that game sitting in a box getting absolutely pissed off.
He was too. He was in South Africa when it actually happened. He was on the ground.
I was there. I'd seen it all happen, and I'll tell you what, I wasn't impressed.
So the answer is no. You're not allowed to frisk us because
we don't go down that road. Plus we only play with tennis balls, so it's not really going to work.
So I guess that's a bit of an announcement as well. Is that the South Africans are kind of penciled in to come over for next summer. But look, if everything gets delayed till next summer, I mean, there might be a bit of a mini World Cup, or it might be an actual World Cup going on next year if everything's condensed, because it'll be massive. You'll have the Ashes series, you'll have probably a World Cup. We'll play a series against the
And the idea of the World Cup is to have every player from overseas, no one from Australia. So no expats. Well, that's the idea. So no expats. Everyone has got to come from their own country, and we'd like to basically try and get everybody here that plays cricket. We've had interest from the West Indies currently.
Big things on the horizon. The West Indies, Sri Lanka. There's a mob in the United States. I mean, they're kind of expats, but they can still represent the United States. India. So there's some big things on the horizon. All right, well that just about does it for our first ever episode of the WCG podcast. We hope you've enjoyed it. Let us know how we went in the comments below. Leave some questions in the comments below if you want them answered on the next podcast. The way we're going to structure it this year is we're going to do a preview and an analysis podcast for every test match, Australia Day, Ashes and whatnot. So look, there's probably going to be about 15 podcasts. In the coming weeks, I'm going to look to try and chat to Logan from Backyard Cricket New Zealand and also Ricky from Backyard Cricket England. That'll be a bit more of a podcast for us just to get to know the boys as well. So there it is, man. Our first ever podcast. Here we go.
That was pretty good, mate. I like that. Yeah, it's good. So hope everyone enjoys our content this year. We're very keen for it. Everyone's pumped. Can't wait. And
2 weeks. 2 weeks from today we're on, guys. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.
See you guys.